I basically just put in here highest cost allocated first. I put my name, I put my signature, and then I dated it. And boom, that's it. And I saved it on my computer in my folders where I keep my financial stuff. Hey guys, Crypto Dad here again. And you may have heard that there is a new tax rule taking effect next year for the 2025 tax year, and that there is a form that needs to be filled out and signed by the end of this year, which is just a few days. So I wanted to sort of demystify this for you and give you some practical instructions on how to do this. It's really easy. It's nothing to worry about, but it will protect you from further scrutiny and audits. So I covered this in my live stream last night, so I'm just going to give you a few of the highlights to give you all of the pertinent information you're going to need. So let's jump in. This little deadline that we have to submit this thing before the end of the year, that's also pretty easy. It's not a big deal. You don't have to go hire an accountant to do this, right? It's just a simple form. It's a declaration. You don't have to give it to the IRS. All you have to do is choose a method, sign and date it, and then keep it for your records, right? So just to preface, it's not as bad as it seems. I know that all these people, everybody's in a panic. What is this all about? I was kind of in a panic too. I'm like, what do you mean there's something I have to do before the end of the year? I'm just hearing this right now, and it's like 2 weeks before the end of the year. What the heck's up with that? But it's not a big deal, and we'll go through it pretty easy. All right, so this is the big change. And these are basically just accounting rules. You used to be able to take all of your exchanges, all of your wallets, and sort of treat it as one giant ledger. Like when you think of a ledger in accounting, not ledger the wallet or the hardware wallet. And so when you submitted all of this information, your tax accountant could go through and add a cost basis, and try to defer if you need, or pay as much to get it over with. Whatever, it was pretty flexible. But it was all just treated as one giant thing. And so if you sold some Bitcoin and you wanted to use a higher cost basis, you could do that by using accounting methods. Now, it's no longer, you can't treat it as universal anymore. Now it's wallet by wallet. And when they say wallet, they also mean your exchange, right? So if you take, if you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase and then you decide to sell Bitcoin on Coinbase, you can't go over to the Bitcoin that you bought on Kraken and use that as your cost basis. Right? Or go over to that crypto that you have held in your ledger that you just bought last week, and use that as your cost basis. Now this could be, it might make it to where you're going to have to pay more taxes sooner than later. But like I said, you're going to have to pay taxes eventually, right? So if you bought crypto back in 2017 at 5,000 per Bitcoin, and then you sell some Bitcoin that, for 100,000, you have to claim those gains on your tax forms. It's just common sense. It's just, that's what the law is. So, but now the accounting goes by wallet, right? So you have to treat each wallet as separately. And it kind of makes it easier for the government, but a little more complicated for you. But if you only have Coinbase, that's your wallet. It's no big deal. The safe harbor plan. Okay, so here is that form I'm talking about. And here is the crux of the biscuit on this. So basically what the IRS is saying is that we wanted you to do wallet by wallet accounting, and we wanted you to use FIFO, and we thought we made it clear, but it really wasn't. So we're willing to forgive you for that, right? As long as you agree to start using the new method then all of the taxes that you filed of the previous years are okay, right? You're not going to be in danger of an audit or whatever, right? That's what the safe harbor is all about. It's basically saying that the IRS will forgive you for your previous year's accounting methods, which, I mean, they were fine, right? But the IRS is kind of saying, well, these new rules should apply to all of your previous tax stuff. But we get it. We weren't very clear. So we're going to give you safe harbor. We're not going to make you go back and redo all your taxes as long as you fill out this simple little form. That's basically what they're saying here. If you don't fill out the form, then they might say, well, you might, since you didn't take your safe harbor, now these new tax rules are going to apply to all of your previous tax preparation over the last 5 years or whatever that you've been doing. So you don't want that to happen. And you want to be able to do 2024's taxes using the old methods because, they're more advantageous, I guess, if you want to say it that way. All right. But in the end, you're going to have to pay your taxes on all your capital gains anyway. Right. And then this FIFO requirement is just an accounting method of first in, first out. So if I bought Bitcoin at 5,000 in 2017 and I sell Bitcoin today for 100,000, I have to take that $5,000 purchase as my cost basis, the earliest one. So I can't use the Bitcoin that I bought in 21 earlier this year when Bitcoin was 50,000. I have to use the cost basis for the Bitcoin that I bought back in 2017, right? At 5,000 per Bitcoin. And then I think I briefly touched on this 1099 DA, which is what the brokers are going to have to issue to us. They may or may not have been issuing you a 1099 miscellaneous, but that's sort of like a voluntary thing on their part. And it doesn't really, it's not as specific. This is a lot more specific, and it has some areas where they're going to calculate your capital gains based on the trades you made on their platform, right? So if you bought Bitcoin on Coinbase and then you sold it on Coinbase, they're going to have their own 1099 DA for your capital gains and or losses. Kraken will have one for you for all the stuff you did on Kraken. You're going to get another one from your Gemini for all the stuff you did on Gemini. And, you'll be responsible for that because not only will you get it, but the IRS will get it, right? So it behooves you to make sure you have your accounting in order, right? Now, let's go over to that safe harbor plan. Let's see here. This is the article that I linked here, Understanding the Safe Harbor Plan. She's got a really good explanation here. She's got a link here for the instructions for her clients. And then she has the link here to the form itself. She also has a link to the IRS explanation of this if you don't, you want to read it yourself. I personally don't, but I might, right? And then she's got, watch her video, right? So as I mentioned, I have the video linked. So check out this video. She explains it. It's 36 minutes long, but it's worth your time and effort. She's got this article, which has some excellent links and a good explanation of these new tax rules. And then she has some instructions on things you can do to sort of snapshot your crypto holdings at the end of the year. But the form, you do need to get this form done. And what's weird to me is that's like, you don't have to show the IRS. You just have to sign and date it. Well, I could do that, in my sleep. I can sign and date a document. Who's to say that I didn't backdate it? I don't know. But honestly, you got to treat this honestly. So here's the form here. It's a digital allocation plan. As I mentioned, it is Laura, right? This is her form. She wrote this based on the expectations of the IRS and the instructions from the IRS. She's not the only person that you can get this form from. This is not an IRS form. This is just this is just to comply with what the IRS wants you to do. And basically you have to declare which method you're going to use, and she has a recommended method. And you can watch her video. I've got my example here. So I just took the recommended method myself. I don't know that you really need to worry about all the individual methods or which one you got to choose before the end of the year. I wouldn't stress over that. As I mentioned, you're going to pay your taxes eventually anyway. It doesn't really matter which accounting method you use, right? Of the new type, right? And then you just have to put your name, your signature, and your date. That's it. So you can print this out and read it through. And I think she's got the different methods somewhere. Here, right here, in this instructions. So that's highest cost allocated first, lowest cost allocated first, oldest allocated first. Those are the three different things to choose from, and she recommends this one. So, if you're, got all kinds of crazy financing, then you might want to which one should I choose? Maybe talk to your existing tax accountant or your existing crypto tax accountant or whatever. But for most people, including me, I'm just going to take a recommendation, right? So if we look at this form here, this is my form. I basically just put in here highest cost allocated first. I put my name. I put my signature. I have my signature in Adobe Acrobat. And then I dated it. And boom, that's it. And I saved it on my computer in my folders where I keep my financial stuff. Right? You could also print this out. If signing a PDF is like, oh, how do I do that? Then just print it out and sign it manually and put it in a folder where you're not going to lose it. And that's it. That's all you have to do. That's it, right? Now, there are some additional things that you could also do, which would be easier if you do them before the end of the year, as I mentioned. I think it's here. She basically just talks about taking a snapshot of your token balances in your wallets and exchanges before 2025, but after you've done your stuff for 2024. So, probably if you're not planning on doing anything else, if you're just hodling and you don't trade that much, you could do it now. Basically, for me, I would go into my Ledger Live and I would just take a screenshot of my current balances in my wallet, and boom, that's it. You're done. And then you could also go to Coinbase and take a screenshot of, your portfolio in Coinbase as well. So it's not rocket science. The accounting stuff might be complicated, but taxes have always been complicated, right? So if you have an accountant that does your taxes, or you already have a crypto person that does your taxes, then, you're already, realize that it's too complicated. Yeah. So, I just wanted to throw up some more links for you. This is her site, which I have linked down below. Now, she's extraordinarily busy. I don't know that you would even be able to get your taxes done by her. Definitely not this year or before the end of the year. Maybe next year. You might be able to get her to do your 2025 taxes if you get on the waiting list early. But this is her site. And then she also has a a course, thank you, a course that you can take to learn about how to do, explains, what crypto taxes are, how they work, what it's all about. If, you just like, hey, man, I don't want to be in the dark anymore. I just want to be up to speed on all this stuff. So she's got that. So she's got the tax preparation service. She has the course. And then she's got this video here. And then, these links here.